Eglinton were two local hostelries, and we were warned as students not to waste our time there. So, just one of my memories of a long, long time ago. I didn't waste my time there, but Eglinton Avenue, and the next stop is the Maroon Lodge Hotel. Next stop is number 16, Malone Lodge Hotel. A lot of these buildings are occupied by students and young professionals, and other buildings are occupied by visitors. They're created as guest houses or self-catering accommodation. Into Dublin, it takes 2 hours to go by the railway track. When the left is the football ground, there's a bridge up high, home of Lincoln Football Club, and the bus right behind on your left, also called the National Stadium, until somebody gives them and they put their name on it. Way back, this area is called the Village by local people. The name came from American GIs that were based here during the Second World War. We had thousands of American soldiers here in 1942, and they came to train in Northern Ireland to go into Europe and fight in the Second World War. And the GIs who stayed here thought this looked like a village. They called it a village, and so the name has stuck ever since. I'm not sure we think it's a village nowadays, but perhaps in those times it looked more like that. It's hard to say what it was like in the past. Yeah, we had lots of American soldiers here, and some of them married local girls. And because Americans were very desirable, they were very well dressed, they were very confident. American ego was very positive, they can do it. They brought things such as chewing gum. They'd never seen chewing gum before. They brought Coca-Cola. We'd never seen the Coca-Cola. So our girls were swept off their feet by these GIs, and some of them married them, much to the annoyance of local boys who lost their girls. But that's love. You people who died in the Troubles in James's Park. During the Troubles, there were 3,000 violence in Ireland. Troubles lasted 25 years. They began about 50 years ago, 1969, 1970. Troubles, and they went on for approximately 25 years. They were terrible times. A lot of bitterness, a lot of killing, utterly needless, but that's what happened in both communities. In Belfast, in prison, 1981. And after that, 9 other young men died in prison in Belfast. Very sad part of our history. On the left is the Conway Street, the mill, Conway Mill, the old linen mill of Belfast. Coming down to International Wall Murals. This is our next stop for the International Wall Murals. This is number 19. Stop number 19. We're going to turn left and drive alongside this wall. Tourism community. And this wall is here to suit both sides, because both sides distrust the other side. This work now you see on the left is all new. It's only gone up in the last week, and they're still working on it. So that's a vast improvement from what was there beforehand. These are various walls around the world. There's a wall in Israel, obviously, and some other parts of the world. And work is going on, as you will see, to put up these new murals here on this wall. Local people do guides for the area, guiding people who live here in West Belfast, and there are tours done of the nationalist area, tours done by people in the royalist area, and both sides feel very strongly about themselves and like the one road, so we would have referred to it sometimes as Fleet Street. Newsletter is the oldest English language newspaper in the world, and that's still published in Belfast on another site. Building on the left is all part of the Ulster University coming to Belfast. You've got the cathedral on your left hand side, Belfast Cathedral, St Anne's, and that's the early part of the 20th century. Central Library on the right hand side. There in another 3 minutes or so. That's where we started from.
Odeon Cinema.
Days gone by, it formed a sandbank, and the sandbank was removed in 1776, but the name remains and was anglicised to Belfast. That's the Albert Memorial Clock on our left hand side, and that was built in 1869. Thanks to the people of Belfast who put their hands in their pockets, they gave donations. There's a bit of filming going on the left hand side, here with the fancy tape. I don't know what's going on there. There's always something going on in Belfast, of course, and this is our stop number 2 for the Customs House Square. So the Albert Memorial Clock, of course, and this structure on the left hand side, the Lagan Weir, it cleaned up the building, or cleaned up the river, and of course it made the water levels more able for it stopped things like smelly mud flats being exposed. Basically improved the river, and it meant that salmon came to the river to spawn and breed, and this was why we built the Salmon of Knowledge up over there on the other side of the river. Now we've crossed over the river with shakes from County Antrim to County Down. This is the Titanic Quarter we're in now. It's one of the many quarters of Belfast. We have 7 quarters in Belfast, and we'll see all of them on our trip. Now when I say quarters of Belfast, I don't mean fractions, I mean areas of interest. And this quarter started in the year 2000 as part of a Millennium Project to regenerate the area. And the Odyssey Pavilion was the first building built. In December 2000 it opened with the W5 Sand Centre, and it features a multi-street cinema and a 10-pin bowling alley. And on the left-hand side here we've got the SSE Arena, which is a concert arena. The singer Khalid is playing tonight. I've never heard of him either, but apparently he's a big deal, as you can see by all these coaches for his band and his equipment. And he's playing there tonight at the SSE Arena. This is stop number 3 for the SSE Arena, and our stop number 4 is up next, and that's for the HMS Caroline. So the Titanic board is named after the RMS Titanic, the Royal Mail steamer Titanic, and this little ship on our left hand side, the SS Nomadic, is part of the Titanic story. When the Titanic came to Cherbourg in France, it took on 400 more passengers, and they were ferried to the Titanic in this little ferry here from the port of Cherbourg, which was too shallow to accommodate the huge Titanic. And passengers such as Nancingo Molly Brown and John Jacob Astor, well, they all sailed in that little boat. There's some folks outside Titanic Belfast getting their photograph taken at the big sign. And the outside of the building features 3,000 aluminium sheets bent to look like the waves there. And from above, the building represents a white star. It looks like a white star, and this is to reflect the White Star shipping line that the Titanic was built for. And of course the SS Nomadic is the last survivor of the White Star shipping line. Stop number 4 is up next. On the left there you'll see Titanic Hotel, and this was once the drawing offices for the shipyard. This is where Titanic was designed. And on the left hand side there you see the girders which mark out the boundaries of the Arrow Gantry where the Olympic and the Titanic were built all those years ago, starting in 1908. It took 4 years to build and took over 3 million rivets to make the Titanic. And we've been building ships in Belfast since 1663. But of course we didn't build this next ship that we're coming to, the HMS Caroline. She was built in Birkenhead near Liverpool, and she was built in 1914. And she joined the fleet as they made their way to the Battle of Jutland in December 1916. And off the coast of Denmark, that great battle took place, and over 8,000 sailors lost their lives in the Battle of Jutland. This little boat is the last survivor of that great battle. She came here in 1924 and was used by the Royal Navy as a training vessel. And she's remained here ever since. She's been restored back to her original condition. And it really is a worthwhile tourist attraction to go around. If you're into your maritime history, or even just want to see how sailors lived over 100 years ago, this is the place to come to. Stop number 4 for HMS Caroline. We have money off vouchers for this attraction, so just ask for them at the door. Seven letters that were signed by Adolf Hitler there. Plus other documents. The oldest dates back 800 years. Well, if nobody's said it so far, hello and welcome to Belfast. If you don't believe me, you believe the letters on the side of the crane there. Hello and welcome they stand for. Of course that's not really true, that's only a bit of blarney, as we say. You might have a different word for it, but the H&W stands for Harland Wood Shipyard, and Sir Edward Harland came here in 1861, bought the shipyard from Samuel Hickland, and with his business partner Gustav Wolff set up the greatest shipyards in the world. And they built the biggest ships in the world, and those cranes arrived in 1969 and 1974. They're called Samson and Goliath. Now the shipyard's parent company's gone into receivership, and the men of the shipyard here are hoping that we get a lifeline thrown to them and keep the shipyard open by hopefully the Ministry of Defence is going to award them a contract. Hopefully that's the plan anyway. Ladies and gentlemen on the bus there from California, Are you anywhere near Hollywood? Very, very close to Hollywood. Well, their Hollywood is very different from our Hollywood. Our Hollywood is just up the road, a few miles up the road here. But our Hollywood differs in many ways from your Hollywood. One of the ways it differs is our Hollywood is spelled with one L. Hollywood it started off as. And of course, we do have a Hollywood star comes from Hollywood. That's Jimmy Dorn, the actor. And a very special sports superstar, Rory McIlroy, comes from Hollywood as well. So we're on the road to Hollywood now, and one of the things that the shipyard's created is on the right hand side here, the Oval Stadium. This was paid for by the men of the shipyard. They all paid small donations towards the building of the stadium, the Oval Stadium. That's where Glentoran football team play. They get their name from the Glentoran River, which is nearby. And in 1960, a young fella called George Best went to try out for the team. He was told to come back when he was a bit taller and a bit more filled out. And he never went back. He was signed up by Manchester United football team, and the rest is history. He went up to Manchester, and 2 weeks later he came back. He was so homesick. And then Sir Matt Busby, who was the boss of Man United at the time, said, look, we'll put you in with an ex-Irish family. And he settled in Manchester and played for Manchester United and also for Northern Ireland, our international team. And he was a really fantastic football player. I saw him play against Iceland in the late 70s. And he was such a fantastic football player that every time he scored a goal, even the Icelandic supporters cheered and shouted for him. But he was really the best football player to come from Northern Ireland, and possibly might have even been the best in the world. Who knows? Certainly Billy was. And we have a very special place in our heart for George. And this is why our second airport on the left-hand side is called the George Best Airport. And whenever he died in 2005, over 100,000 people came to his funeral at our next stop, Parliament Buildings, which isn't too far away. Believe it or not, I have over 64 nephews and nieces. One of my nephews, he worked in the Tesco supermarket up here. It's a big English supermarket, and they have branches here. And one day, one of us... So, that's the 3 things you have to bear in mind. Of course, I wasn't always a tour guide. I used to write books before I started this game, and I wrote 2 books. One was about anti-gravity, and the other one was about the history of superglue, and people said they couldn't put them down. So, that's right. Bum bum. We're making our way towards Parliament Buildings, folks, and on the way, this is the time now we can put your head back and visualise what I'm saying to you. That's what some of the other passengers on previous tours have said. But you can always sleep if you want to as well. This is the history part of the tour, and years ago, during the 1500s, English lords owned most of Ireland. 90% of Ireland they owned. They were given pieces of land by the kings and the queens over the years. And the Ulster clans in this corner of Ireland weren't very happy about this. They'd seen their land taken away from them, and then they were charged tax for this land that they used to own. And so they started off a 9 years war against the English lords. Unfortunately for us, the English lords won, and the Ulster clan chiefs, they left Ireland in what was called the Flight of the Earls. in 1607. And 3 years later, in 1610, King James the First, King James the Sixth of Scotland, he was also. He said, I want to colonise Northern Ireland with Irish and Scottish settlers. He wanted people who were loyal to him, who had plenty of money, and who were willing to settle in Northern Ireland. And so they settled in the 6 counties of Northern Ireland: Fermanagh, Antrim, Tyrone, Londonderry, Armagh, and Down. And there had been previous attempts over the years to colonise other parts of Ireland, particularly in the west of Ireland. But this Ulster plantation was very successful, and it explains why Northern Ireland was for many years mostly Unionist or Protestant. In 1801, Ireland became part of the United Kingdom, and as such was ruled from London in Westminster by the members of Parliament there. But after a number of revolts in Ireland during the 1800s, it was decided to let Ireland try and root itself from an Irish Parliament in Dublin. And a proposal was put through the House of Commons. It didn't get through. It was called the First Home Rule Bill. And basically what they said was, let Ireland rule itself from a Parliament in Dublin. The Ulster Unionists up here were livid about it, and they revolted against this. There were 30 deaths in Belfast alone because of the riots and the violence that broke out. And then in 1893, a similar bill was tried to go through Parliament, but it didn't go through the House of Lords. But the third Home Rule Bill in 1912 went through and was due to become law in 1914. So the Ulster Unionists were up in arms. Literally, they formed their own army in 1913 called the Ulster Volunteer Force. And this was a group of around 100,000 men who were well armed and well trained. They trained in areas like this that we're passing now. And the Irish people were very worried about this. They said, we don't want this army from the north coming down and shooting all around them. We'll start our own army. And they started the Irish Volunteer Army in November 1913. So it looked as if civil war was inevitable in Ireland at the start of the century. But then the First World War broke out. At first it was thought the First World War would only last a few months. And so both sides, both armies, joined British Army, thinking they would get a better deal after the war, which we didn't think would last for very long. But it lasted for 4 years, and at the end of those 4 years, people were sick and tired of shooting and killing, and so they decided on a compromise that would stop any violence happening in Northern Ireland. Of course, this didn't happen. There were 500 deaths between 1921 and 1922 in Belfast alone, and it led to the Civil War in Ireland, and of course the War of Independence in Ireland. So many more deaths followed this compromise. But in 1920, the Fourth Home Rule Bill was passed, and on the 3rd of May 1921, in Belfast City Hall, King George V came and opened the first Northern Ireland Parliament. Now, 11 years later, they found a more permanent home for the Parliament, and they settled here at Stormont Estate. This is where we'll find the Parliament buildings. The King was too ill. He had very bad health problems. He was a very heavy smoker.
Well done. Tight.
Well, that was very quick. It didn't take any minutes. This is Prince Edward Drive, and it measures exactly 1 mile from the gates through the steps up there of the building. On the other side of the driveway, you'll see these lovely lamps. These are gifts from the people of Canada, and they added a little bush head under each of the lamps there. The trees on each side of the driveway are lime trees. There's 305 of them in the estate. And just look at that lawn mowing for straightness. Imagine having to do that every day. Now the buildings themselves are, it's actually only one building, but it was built during the Great Depression, and they expected to build more buildings. That's why it's called Parliament Buildings instead of Parliament Building. But the 6 columns at the front represent the 6 counties of Northern Ireland, as do the 6 floors of the building. And the building measures 365 feet wide has 365 windows in it. During the Second World War, it was used by the Royal Air Force as a base, and they thought that the White Building would stand out like a sore thumb as a target for the Luftwaffe. So they camouflaged it with a mixture of tar and cow manure, and they spread it over the building. It was very easy to get on, but very hard to get off. It soaked into that porous stone, and it took 7 years to remove this stinky mixture. And as you can see from the top of the buildings, it still needs a bit of cleaning up there. That was me. And it said that even now, inside the building, there's still a smell of cow manure. But that, of course, that's only when Parliament is in session. I haven't had any of those for over 2.5 years. Stroke number 6 for Parliament buildings. That statue we passed up there was Sir Edward Carson, defiantly facing Dublin in front of the government, which defiantly faced that home rule in Dublin. Although, of course, he was born in Dublin, Sir Edward Carson, and he was a Dublin barrister, best known for his work in the Oscar Wilde case, the libel case against the Marquess of Queensberry, which Oscar lost. And we're now at Massey Avenue. Massey Avenue gets its name from William Massey. He was the Prime Minister of New Zealand during the 1920s, and he came from Limba Valley up in County Derry, or County Londonderry, if you will. Of course, it's home, Massey Avenue, to the most optimistic family in Belfast. On our right hand side, they have an outdoor unheated swimming pool. Maybe not today's the best day for swimming. I know it's very fashionable in California. You can just jump into a swimming pool. Not so over here in Northern Ireland. It's very cold and damp. And though it's not great for swimming, it's great if you want to grow flax. And from flax you get linen. From linen you get the words like lingerie. From the lineup plant where linen comes from, the flax plant, you get linseed oil, and you can make linoleum from that. And the ancient Egyptians used linen to wrap their mummies. But during the 1800s, Belfast was made rich from linen. The American Civil War was during the 1860s, and there was an embargo against American cotton coming into the UK. So linen proved to be a valuable substitute. And one of the linen merchants who was made rich from linen was Henry Campbell. He lived in this estate on our left-hand side, a 100-acre estate. And when he died in 1888, although he was a very rich man, he had no wife or children to leave his money to. So he's poor in that respect. But instead he said he wanted his money to be used to build a school. And so Campbell College, on our left-hand side, was opened in 1894, and there were 800 pupils are there. It's a grammar school, and some of the ex-Campbellians, the old Campbellians, include C.S. Lewis, the writer, and he was there for 2 months. Samuel Beckett was a teacher there during the 1920s. Gary Lightbody, frontman for Snow Patrol, went to school there. Mike Gibson, the football player, and Charlie Lawson, who plays Jim McDonald on Coronation Street. He was a pupil there also. Up to the left, we'll find Ormiston, which was the home of Sir Edward Harland, head of the shipyard, and his business partner, William Perry, bought the house on Sir Edward's death in 1895. He had a very large estate in this area, and this little house on our left-hand side was once the gate lodge to that large estate. Now, William Perry had 2 very clever nephews. One was called Thomas Andrews. He designed the Titanic, and Thomas's brother John was our second Prime Minister in Northern Ireland. So John Andrews was our second Prime Minister. The first Prime Minister was a man called Sir James Craig, and he was part of the Duckbill Whisky Company family. And his brother was a gentleman called Vincent Craig, and he designed the lovely Belmont Tower on our left-hand side. Stop number 7's not too far away, folks. That's for the Belmont Road. more positive future of Northern Ireland. Here on our right hand side is Freedom Corner. This features the red hand of Ulster, or the right hand of God as it's known. This is what it features on the flags of Northern Ireland and County Tyrone. And on our right hand side we'll see Titanic Yardmen 401. They show the workmen coming back from working all day building the Titanic, or Boat 401 as it was known when it was being built. Coming up on the right hand side is the man himself, C.S. Lewis, of this mural on our right. On our left hand side we'll find these aquamarine coloured, turquoise coloured fences. These are peace fences. There are over 60 of these throughout Northern Ireland. And these separate the two communities. They separate the Nationalist George Strand community on that side of the fence and the lower Newtownards Road community, Unionist community, on this side of the fence. They're there to keep the peace, but as you can see from the windows above the fences there, they still got security grills over them, and of course some of them have been broken by stones or bricks. You don't have to go very far. And this is why these huge walls are around the high courts there. Stop number 10, and we're stopping here at St George's Market. Bombs were being left in shops, restaurants and pubs in Belfast, and the way they stopped these bombs from going off is they shut the whole town down at 6 o'clock. Shutters came down over the shops, barricades were closed, everybody had to leave the town centre, and so the entertainment centre shifted from the city centre to this area we know now as the Golden Mile, Dublin Road. Still home to many fine pubs, the Points Bar on the left hand side, but they'll give you a pint of Guinness for £3 if you show your Belfast City Sightseeing Tour ticket. And they have music every night of the week. Also the Dirty Onion and the Hard Bar tonight have free music, as well as many other places. And this is stop 14 for Shaftesbury Square, where we'll find Lavery's Pub, another festival there. The Basque area and the Catalan district of Spain. And we're coming through to the Protestant part of West Belfast. Now I mentioned earlier that during the 1800s people flocked into West Belfast from the west of Ireland, and this is why 90% of West Belfast is made up of Catholic people. It's exactly the opposite in East Belfast. 90% of East Belfast is made up of Protestant people. But we're in the Protestant part of West Belfast, and we'll be up the Shank Road very soon for our next stop number 20. Now during the 60s, as I say, the Troubles started, and in 1969, because people were being burned out of their houses on both Protestant and Catholic sides, the British Army came to try and keep the peace. And they erected these gates here, these massive yellow gates, which were closed 24 hours a day. And they were closed because gangs were using these little streets to escape to each other, whatever community they came from, after carrying out shootings and bombings. And to try and stop more violence, the British Army put up this peace wall, the International Peace Wall, as we know it now. And it replaced a row of burned out buses. Now 67% of the violence that occurred during the Troubles happened within 550 yards of this barrier. Now the 2 million signatures of people who visited Belfast to leave messages of peace and goodwill. As I say, this is only a wee temporary exhibition, and already putting it together, they're just completing it. There were 60 of these peace barriers throughout Northern Ireland, but this is the largest. It measures 1.2 kilometres in length and it's over 8 metres tall. And there are plans to take down these 60 plus barriers throughout Northern Ireland by the year 2023. But it's doubtful that this will ever be removed because it's no return of the cancer. But whenever I was recovering in the hospital, I was sitting with a big bandage over my eye and I was just reading the paper, sitting on top of the bed. And this fella came in and he was so bad, he had a big red eye and he looked like that guy, Keith Lemon, you know, from the TV series. But his language was terrible. Now, I'm going to say fish and chips instead of the F-bomb. What he said, I'm in the effing hospital. He was talking to somebody on the phone. He says, of course I'm in the effing hospital, the effing Halmshire. King William in the Orange Hall in Ireland. And on the left-hand side, built 2 years before the American Revolution. Clifton House, built in 1774. Originally it was called the Belfast Fur House, built by the Belfast Charitable Society. They were a society that formed after the Ulster famine in 1841 when 300,000 people died during that terrible famine caused by bad harvests and bad weather. Stop number 1 is next. We're passing St Patrick's Church there. That statue of St Patrick over the door was carved by James Pearce and he was the father of Patrick Pearce. If you follow on down that road there, you'll come to St Anne's Cathedral, which is where you'll find the Cathedral Quarter. And on the other side of these houses is the Library Quarter, named after Central Library. So that's 6 quarters we're coming to. We've had the Titanic Quarter, we've all been counting, the Linen Quarter, we had the University Quarter, then the Gaeltacht Quarter, we have the Cathedral Quarter, and the Library Quarter. That makes 6, I reckon. And the last quarter we've come to, and we hope you've a very pleasant stay in Belfast and Northern Ireland, and it won't be too long before we see you again. Thank you very much, folks.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good connection, actually. See, my school does that with personally my dad. That's nothing. No, my dad's from the Highlands. No, I don't think it. Oh, I'm gonna hold on. Stop.
Oh! Why? Oh! 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 Hey! Come. All right, thank you. Don't speak at them. I don't them. Ooh. Oh, the city. Ah! Girls, swooping girls. Ah. Ah. What? Oi! Oi! Ooh. Ooh. Oh, don't. Ha! Oh, come!
Do you know the code? No. Do you know the code?
2323.
Do you want to give it a go? Oh. It's okay. Do you want to let Stuart try it?
Ready?
You ready?
Hello, Scott.
This